As always, before we get started, we understand how stressful mattress shopping can be. So after this review, if you're still interested in more, click over to realmattressreviews.com where you can find hundreds of other great reviews, and click on the coupons tab to find the best mattress deals available online. Alright, let's get this review started. Hey everyone, Ross from realmattressreviews.com. Today we're here to finish up our review of the original Casper foam mattress. So this is like the original 10-inch foam mattress, except it's got many upgrades since the original review that I did, which was probably 5 or 6 years ago. So lots to talk about here, and I'm really excited to kind of dive in, talk to you guys mainly about some of the things you care about, like how does the mattress feel, and my overall opinion on the value versus the price, that kind of thing. So right off the bat, what we'll do quickly and briefly is talk about the construction. This is, as I said, 10 inches thick. It starts off with 2 inches of memory foam on the top, and that is an aerated foam. So what that means is it's got basically holes punched all the way through the foam, which is going to allow for better airflow, which ultimately will help the mattress sleep a little bit cooler. Underneath that, they've got a 1-inch poly layer. That is going to be a transition foam that's a little softer than your foam core, so you're going to have a little extra support there, but a little extra pressure relief and additional support before you kind of hit that harder foam core on the bottom. So it eases you into that foam core a little bit better than just having an 8-inch foam core. So this one's 7 inches, 1-inch poly, and then a 2-inch layer of memory foam on the top. So one of the big additions to this mattress that the original one didn't have is zoned support. So the center kind of third of the mattress here will have actually a little bit firmer foams. So what you will find is when you lay down, you're going to have better support here in the lumbar area and just in general where most of your body weight is in the mattress. So it should help support your back a lot more, and additionally it should help with longevity to have a little bit denser foam there where most of your weight is, because over time the foams will get softer as you kind of wear them in. So it's kind of nice to have that center third start a little bit firmer than the rest, and then where you will side sleep, your shoulder and everything will sink in easier than say your hips. You're still going to have really good support in your lumbar and your hip, kind of where most of that body mass is typically. So they've also got a 10-year warranty on this. They have a 100-night sleep trial, and this also has a removable cover with a zipper on the bottom. And right now the queens come in at $12.95, and that's before any coupons available. So click the link down below. Head over to the website to get the latest coupon, or just click the buy now button here down in the description. That'll bring you right over there. So whatever the best deal is basically is what you're going to get if you click the link. And so with that said, we'll just talk a little bit. So this is a little more expensive than the original, which you would expect with the upgrades. You know, is it worth that much more? We'll find out. I'll give you guys my opinion. But ultimately, you also have to factor in the fact that material prices have come up quite a lot, especially in foam products, which are kind of petroleum-based products. So over the last 5-6 years, that stuff's kind of steadily climbed. So definitely a little bit more expensive than when it first came out, but they've definitely made some nice upgrades, and the company is a lot more well established now as well, which also is, you know, a huge positive because the company's not going anywhere. Where, you know, I've seen several online brands kind of come and go over the years, so it's nice to know that they are here to stay. So what we're going to do first, I'll give you guys an idea of the foam response. All I did was sit on it. I haven't really played around with it at all yet. So let's push on it. So it's pretty fast responding memory foam, as you can see. I'll just push that top layer, and it pretty much pops up almost immediately. So it is a very fast responding memory foam, and it's got kind of a nice softness to it. It almost feels like a little bit of a rubbery kind of just soft feeling. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it doesn't feel like your traditional slow responding memory foam. It's really a lot more cloud-like, and I can tell it's going to be a lot more easy to move around on because of the fast response. Let's push here. See if I can notice the difference in the middle. I can definitely tell quite a lot that the middle is firmer. It looks like you can feel that it ends right here and right here. So it is that kind of center third. I'll get a better feel of that here when I lay down on it. But let's take a look at the bounce. And this gives you guys a good idea, of how easy it is going to be to get in and out of the mattress. If it thuds a lot, like on a traditional kind of 4 or 5 pound memory foam, you're going to sink in a lot more and it's going to be harder to move around on. So this I would expect to have pretty good bounce, as I mentioned, with the fast response and the poly layer under that memory foam. Let's see if there's a difference here in the firmer section. So it looks like maybe a little bit more bounce in the firmer section, which you would expect. It's kind of hard to tell, but maybe a little more thud. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between that with the bounce, but ultimately you're not going to sink as far in the middle. So I really like the consistency of the foam. As I mentioned, I think it's going to feel really nice when I lay down, as well as be very easy to adjust positions. So keep in mind as I talk, I'm about 200, 210 pounds, somewhere around there. So right when I lay down, I can definitely feel how nice and soft the top foam is. It's got a really great feel. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's way faster than memory foam, but it feels like it's got that same type of pressure relief. But I sink in immediately, and I can really tell that the center is zoned. So I have a very good support here in my lumbar. I'd say it's probably like a 5.5 to 6 out of 10, with 10 being the firmest. So it is kind of in that sweet spot for combo sleepers. Should feel nice. As I was on my back, felt very supportive on my lumbar. Here on my side, the whole thing, even the firmer area, is soft enough to where my hip's sinking in. But I really like that they have that extra support, where most of my body weight is here. Because my hip sinks in the way it should on my side, but I'm not kind of sinking way through. So my spine is nice and straight here as I lay here. And then up here it's softer, so my shoulder is able to dig in without feeling like I have a lot of force and pressure pushing back up on it. And then stomach sleeping, typically, when your mattress doesn't have enough support or it's too soft, you'll get lower back arch. So that's another nice feature of this zoned center, is it's going to have more support here where my stomach's not going to sink super far. So it's going to keep my back up a little bit more, and I won't get as much lower back arch. So I really think it's great for all 3 sleeping positions. The quality of this definitely feels quite significantly better than the first Casper that I reviewed way back in the day, their first edition of the Casper. And I think that they've come a long way since then anyways, with their designs and then, the different offerings that they have. So the zone support is really impressive, actually. There's not a ton of brands that have that. There's some hybrids that have a zoned pocketed coil, but generally I can't really tell that it's there. It's supposed to be firmer, but this I can really feel. The Wave Hybrid, the Casper, also had the zone support. I feel like I can feel it even more on this one. It's not too much, but it's definitely more supportive here in the lumbar. So as I mentioned, the foam's pretty fast responding, so as I roll and kind of adjust positions, I don't have like a big hole that takes forever to come back up, like a slow-moving memory foam. So as I do roll, it's very easy, and I'm not struggling to pull myself out of a hole at all. So that's a nice aspect of the foam response. Let's take a look at motion. Now, this being an all foam, it's going to have very good motion reduction. Now keep in mind, I need to bolt this thing down a little bit better. And then the whole platform is going to move a little bit. But as I plop down, you You can see very little motion on that bottle. A lot of that's my whole bed moving, but very good. So if you are used to your partner kind of waking you up, getting in and out of bed a lot, or if they get up earlier than you for work or something, you're not going to feel that movement nearly as much. So overall, I think this is going to work really well for combination sleepers who are going to switch it up between side, back, and stomach. Let's take a look quickly at edge support. So foam mattresses are generally pretty average for edge support, but as I sit here, about the same in the seated position. They're always pretty average, especially on a 10-inch, because you can't have like a super firm foam core in a 10 or 11-inch mattress, simply because you don't have enough foam layers above that to where maybe it'll feel way too firm. But this does have still a good quality foam core, and as I sit here, it's average for the seated position. But I want to know if I feel like I'm rolling off, sleeping very close to the edge. And like this, you can even tell like my body's completely straight. And I'm on the very extreme edge here. I still don't feel like I'm like rolling off the bed or anything. So even if you're more realistic where you actually sleep, you're not going to have any of that roll off the bed feeling at all. So it does perform really nicely in that lying down position. Sit here so you can see a little bit, but the foam's pushing, or the fabric's pushing out a little bit, but it's good for edge support in the laying down position. So if that's what you're most concerned about, it performs well in that area. So what that's going to mean is you can have the entire sleeping surface basically for sleeping without feeling like you're rolling off, which is important, especially in a queen if you do have two people in the bed. So with that said, I think, like I said, it's going to work really good for combo sleepers. It's going to work good for hot sleepers because it uses the aerated foams on the top. The cover isn't necessarily like a really cooling cover, but I recommend using a mattress protector anyway. And there's several different kind of cooling mattress protectors available that are more like that cool to the touch. They do have some fabric upgrades you can do. I don't know if you can do it with all models, but I know you can like with the Wave, but you can figure that out on their website. So overall, I think the quality of this one is much better than the original from like 4 or 5 years ago or whenever it was. So they've made the upgrades to the foams, they've made the upgrade to the lumbar zone support. And so with that said, the price increase is justified, and additionally, the price of everything has gone up. So, it's in my opinion still a very good mattress for the price. If you have any questions at all, drop me a message down below. Otherwise, please head over to realmattressreviews.com. We are supported by our readers, so if you do decide to purchase anything, click through our links, and then they'll know you came from us, and they'll throw a little kickback back to us. So that'd be great, whether you buy this brand or any other brand. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and have a great day.